Well, yesterday we had a very robust debate in the Senate over the future of the training centers. In our area, it's the Northern Virginia Training Center. Now, what these training centers are, there are 5 of them around the state, and they tend to the needs of the most profoundly disabled citizens in the state. They're sort of a hospital type situation. The term training center is a little bit deceptive in some ways. But in any event, the Department of Justice came down and said, look, you need to disperse all of these people into the community. Well, ideologically that sounds very good, but in practical terms, many of these are individuals who are unable to stand, to speak. They need to be cared for much like infants. Some of the parents have volunteered for as long as 33 years just tending to the needs of these children. And there was a sense of desperation among them that if these individuals were put out in the community, that some of them would not survive. They literally would perish. This has gone into federal court, and the federal judge made it quite clear that he is not prepared to dictate to the state of Virginia what we can do and what we can't do. He said this is a political issue. So what I did is I put in an amendment that made it very clear that it is the sense of the legislature, in this case it was the sense of the Senate, that these training centers have a place, that we need to be attentive to the safety of the individuals who are cared for there so that we don't simply put them out on the street where they perish. I was very heartened by the fact that we had a sort of a bipartisan uprising of people who joined together, and one by one they said, you know, we've got one of those training centers and we have people who are in desperation over what's happening. And so I was very pleased that in the end we were able to put this thing through and express a very firm sense of the Senate that we will keep the training centers open. And this is only the first step in a long journey. The bill now will go over to the House where they will have to consider it, and it still remains in court. But I believe that if we're persistent, if we work hard at this, I think we can keep those centers open and we can keep the people who are there safe so that they and their families can feel secure that the state of Virginia will care for them. So I was very, very pleased with that.